your good-hearted offerings that you brought. Oilasacha, your burnt offerings, Yadashna Sela, should be accepted graciously. Ita Eloheinu Vavecha, and he should grant your heart's requests. And all your good intentions, he should enable you to fulfill them. Ita Eloheinu Vavecha. Yeah. Then we will rejoice in your salvation, Hashem. Uvashem Eloheinu Nidgel, we will raise the banner of Hashem, our God, on high. Yamale Adonai Kol Mishalesech, Hashem should fulfill all your heart's requests. Ata Yodaiti, now I know, says King David, Ki Heishia Adonai Mashiach, that Hashem saves his anointed one. Yanehu, answers him. Mishmei Kodshe, from his holy heavens. Biguvures, with might and strength. Yesha, salvation. Yamine, from his right hand. Some come with chariots, some with cavalry, or modern versions thereof. We come with the name of God on our lips. Hey, Makaru, they bent and fell. We stood up, and he said that we're still holding our position. We're stalwart. After thousands of years, we still are holding strong. Adonai Hishamelech Hanenivim Karenu. Hashem, deliver us. May the King answer us on the day that we call unto him. Good morning, Rebbe's and Simcha on the Zoom. I said the bracha downstairs. Take a sip of tea. We're in chapter 7. We're learning about how to deal with the unclean klippas. The source of life of all bad things is called klippa. Hashem has to give it life. A thing can't exist without Hashem giving it life. But how does he give life to things that are doing the opposite of what belongs in an ideal world? He does it in a backhanded way, like he would, after a meal, king makes a feast, and the leftovers he leaves to the mice or to the dogs. Gives the dogs the bones. That's how klippa gets its life. It may look very attractive, but it's really not. It's really very ugly. As anybody knows who has ventured, heaven forbid, into such a world, that it looks very glitzy on the outside, but on the inside, it's not nice. Not nice at all. Not nice people, not nice things. Okay. There are 4 levels of klippa. The lower three levels are the source of the impure life of all kinds of things like alligators and snakes and vermin and non-kosher food, bad behavior, criminal behavior. That's where the life comes from. Then there's a 4th level of klippa, which is higher than the others. Just like you have 4 letters in the name of God, the first is Yud. So the highest level of the 4 klippas is called klippas noga. It's a neutral. It's not the source of bad things. It's just a source of neutral things. And that's where we can exercise our free will and use these things for good, hopefully, and not for bad. If we use them for good, we elevate them into the realms of holiness. If we use them selfishly, then they schlep us down into the realms of klippa. Klippa is basically a term for selfishness. Okay, that's Now we, just by way of summary, we'll breeze through this very quickly. Page 113, by way of review. The animal soul in a Jewish person, basic human soul, comes from Klippus Noga. Where is it? It's found, it's in your blood. Your blood is in your heart. So it's everywhere. It's your life force. Okay? And we want to make sure that it's used for good things. Also, from this level of life called Klippus Noga, we have the life of kosher animals, domestic animals at the farm, wild animals, kosher wild animals like deer, reindeer, buffalo, antelopes. Give me a home where the antelope roam. Yeah. Where the skies are not cloudy all day, where never is heard a discouraging word. You know, that's it. And birds and fish, which are pure. Fish, how do you know if fish are pure? What do they have? What are the signs of scales? Yeah, how do you know fish are musical? Because they know their scales. I'm sorry. All right. And vegetables, as long as they're not fruit from the first 3 years of a tree. The first 3 years, the fruit on a tree for the first 3 years is from klippa. No good. The 4th year, the fruit could be eaten in holiness in the base of Mikdash. We can't do that either. And the 5th year, it's good for everybody. I heard once said that the fruit from the first 3 years isn't very good anyway. Okay? And everything that we say, everything that we do, everything that we think about ordinary day-to-day life, all these things get their life from this klippa called Noga, the uppermost of the 4 klippas. Lower 3 are totally impure. We have to stay away from them at all costs. Reject, have nothing to do with them. Just say no. That's like drugs. You don't go there. Drugs and immoral behavior, don't go there. Then the 4th level is for everyday behavior. Going to the bank, going shopping, exercising, sports, business, earning a living according to the laws of the Torah. Don't think that there's no law, no Torah in business. There's tons of Torah in business. How business has to be conducted. You have to be a real Torah scholar to conduct your business properly. Okay, so we don't want to have any negative commandment, any prohibitions. We don't want to transgress any thou shalt not commandments. We don't avoid them. They get their life from lower levels of klippa. All right. And even more than that, the day-to-day behavior that we are engaged in should be, we're advised it should be, our sages advise us, let all your deeds be for the sake of heaven. In other words, you have to put in a spin on what you're doing. Why is this part of your Jewish life? Not just part of your life. Why is it part of your Jewish life? As a Jewish person, you have a purpose. What is your purpose as a Jewish person? Is to make the world a better place. What do you mean a better place? I mean a place where God is revealed. How is God revealed? He's revealed how you dress, how you behave, how you speak. And people notice that you dress differently, you behave differently, you look differently. There was a woman who wrote a book about Crown Heights in the early years when Lubavitch was just sort of getting known, just started making it into the big news. So a woman came and wrote a book about life in Crown Heights. She said the hardest thing for her to get used to was that when she walked in the street, nobody looked at her. You walk in, normal people, what the world calls normal, everybody sizes up everybody else. You give a person a good look and they give you a look. Says you walk on the streets in Crown Heights. A woman walks the streets in Crown Heights. People lower their eyes. They don't look in their eyes. She couldn't get used to it. So little things like that make a difference and make it here. It made such an impact on her that she wrote about it in her book. Huh? What's the book called? I don't know. I forget now.
Why did you think
it was very popular?
It was a bad thing. Like, this is how New York is.
What?
This is how New York is. Like, you know.
That's not the name of the book.
No, I was saying, you said it in Crown Heights. Jewish people.
Okay, so now, if your day-to-day activity is performed, like our sages say, let all your deeds be for the sake of heaven, good. Then they earn a place in the world of holiness. And if not, then they go to the other place, the world of unholiness. So that your life energy then now is connected with Klippa. So something we want to really work at. Instead, if it's not connected with holiness, what does he say here in the middle of page 14, 114? Rotzei naguf, like a person exercises, so I want to be healthy, I want to be beautiful, I want to be slim and trim, right? That's just serving your own self-centered will and desire and the lust of the body. That's what it says. Cheftzei v'taivosei, the desires of your body. Just exercising for the sake of being fit, not for the sake of being healthy in order to serve Hashem. It's a world of difference, very slight between this side of the fence and that side of the fence. And even if the doctor says that you should do it for the preservation of life and limb, if you don't have an intention that you want to be healthy in order to do mitzvahs, then it's connected with Klippa. Okay, we're entering now the world of Klippa, so don't be depressed. We're not going to spend a long time here. Hasidus doesn't spend a long time in negative things, but we can't ignore them altogether. So we have a couple of chapters here, 6 and 7 are about the Klippa, our involvement with Klippa. If I don't have the right focus, I'm doing this for the sake of Hashem, then everything that I do, bottom of page 114, right? We have action, speech, and thought. 3 realms of our behavior. You have to get used to this because it comes up again and again. You notice here at the bottom. These actions, these words, these thoughts are no better than the animal soul itself. They're just expressions of the animal soul, and they're on the same level. Whereas with a slight twist, you put a spin on it for holiness, and it becomes holy. Good morning. Did I meet you?
Yeah.
Oh, pleasure's all mine. Who are you?
Esther Hannah.
Esther Hannah. Welcome. Are you here for a day, a week,
It's me, Esther.
Oh, Esther Hannah. You look different. Why do you look? Do you put your hair differently?
Maybe.
Okay. I apologize.
It's okay.
V'akol kasher lekol nishpa v'nimshach mimedrega hashenis shebeklipa. Everything that we've spoken about so far is coming from this second level of klippa, which is from the other side. Shehi klippas noiga, klippa ravias. This is the 4th level of klippa, which is called klippas noga. Okay, this is all review. Sheba olam hazeh, which is, we're talking about this world. Now there are 4 levels of worlds. Also review. What are the world? There's a world of God. It's united with God. That's called Atzilus. Then there's a world where the possibility of creation is recognized. It's a possibility, but it's still very, very close to God. And therefore, it's extremely, extremely, overwhelmingly holy. Okay? we're not going to get there. It's very, very high, very holy for highest ranking angels, spiritual beings, and super duper tzaddikim. They exist on that level. Then we go down to the next level, like with 4 letters of the name of God. The Yud represents the world that's connected with God. The K is like when we take the Yud and a Yud is a dot, right? Now we're going to expand it. Give dimension, width, and depth. So now we begin to see a structure, formation. This is the world of forms, where creation is a possibility, and then it becomes the world of forms when we draw it down. 3rd letter of the name of God is a Vav. We draw this structure down to the next level, which is the world of feelings. The world of feelings called formation or forms, the world of forms. Like everything in the world has a form. This cup has a form. That's why someone invented the cup. First, there was the idea of a cup, a container. And everything that exists in this world has a form that is the source of what it is. And then we have the thing itself. That's the 4th level, the lowest level. Okay, this is the world. So we have 4 worlds: the world of godliness, the world where creation is a possibility, the world of forms, and the world where action is possible. In each world, godliness is increasingly hidden. There's an increasing feeling of otherness. In the world of godliness, there's no otherness. There's only God. That's the world of Atzilus, the world of godliness, where God is revealed. Now, if we're going to come into a world where creation is possible, we're going to have to hide this godliness to make room for a world. So godliness is less revealed. World number 2, less revealed. World number 3, even more not revealed. Now, world number 4 is the world where we are, so to speak, speaking very generally, where godliness is not revealed at all. Anybody see godliness this morning? No. Anybody see a burning bush on the way? No. Moshe saw a burning bush. He saw God. God spoke to him. Okay. You know, everybody knows this story. School children know the story. Non-observant Jews who don't know the story, if they knew about it, it's a question, would they believe it? It's one of the first things that we have to convey to people that we meet. And we realize that we have a deeper knowledge and awareness. As little as we know, it's far beyond the knowledge and awareness of people who have had no background and no education. And the basic things, I'm going to repeat this, you've heard me say this already several times. I'm saying it again and again and again, because you have to take this with you through life when you're meeting people, that you have a message to convey to everybody. First level of the message is that they have a godly soul, a neshama. The person has to know he has a neshama. She has a neshama. And that changes everything. Second thing we have to know is that we come from a very, very great holy family of spiritual giants, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, who brought the whole concept of one invisible God into the world. So we have a neshama and we have a God, and it's family. This is family. It's not a dogma of some religion, it's family. This is where we've come from. This is our family. It's our grandparents. This is us. We are them. Family are us. And the next thing we have to know is that our family ended up developing and growing in Egypt in slavery. The first wasn't so bad, and then it got very, very bad, and got so bad we cried out unto Hashem to save us, and he did, and he took us out of Egypt. We have to know this. And we have to communicate this to people that we come from, that's where we come from. Hashem took us out of Egypt with signs and wonders and miracles. And he took us to Mount Sinai and gave us a set of laws of life with all the wisdom that in the universe at Mount Sinai. And this is a daily experience. Every day we have to remember and feel as if we came out of Egypt today. It just happened. It just happened. Just like the world is being created anew today, we are experiencing our freedom to serve God today for the first time. These are basic concepts. I said to somebody once, Rosh Hashanah time, are you going to go to a Chabad, find a shul near where you are, and hear the shofar blown? And this person answered me and said, we're not observant. What does that mean? Just by saying those words, all of a sudden, what? You don't come from Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and so on, so on, so on. You weren't in Egypt. You didn't come out of Egypt. We say in the Haggadah, if Hashem did not take us, everybody, even non-religious people do still make a Seder. Because they have memories when they were kids that they had a Seder. And they grow up, so they have a Seder with their friends, some Jewish, some not Jewish. What do they say in the Haggadah? It says, if Hashem did not take us out of Egypt, we and our children and our children's children will be slaves to Pharaoh in Egypt today. That's a heavy statement. Do you believe it? You have to believe it. So how do you communicate this to people who don't think about it? Don't want to think about it. They don't know what they're getting into. They're nervous. Okay, so that's our job. And that's what we have to focus on, that everything we should do is part of communicating this message to our friends and our acquaintances, Jewish and non-Jewish. You have to be very tactful, you have to be gentle. Okay. Now, in this world of action, godliness is so hidden, the person could say, Rabbi, you're telling me all these things. It's not me. This is not me. I remember when I took once shmura matzah to a young man, a very clever young man. He was the editor of the newspaper on the campus of 25,000 students. 20% to 25% of the students were Jewish. It was a very large Jewish campus here in New York City, New York State. And I took him shmura matzahs, and he said, "Oh, I love shmura matzah. I'm going to have it tonight for supper." I said, "No, save it for Pesach." He said, "No, I'm going to eat it tonight. And if this isn't the right thing to do, so let God strike me dead." He went like that. Let God strike me dead. See, I'm still here. That's what he said. This is not my room, not my world. So somehow we have to find our way into that world until he or she can realize that this is what our life is. This is what our life is. And this is why Hashem took us out of Egypt. That we should convey this knowledge and this message to everybody. Everybody has to know this. This is where we come from. This is our message to the world. And without this message, the world has no moral standard, no moral strength to continue. Okay. Now we also saw that in this level of Klippa, the fourth level of Klippa, we have good qualities, which are natural to every Jewish person, just like a bird knows how to sing and a spider knows how to make a web, right? And whales know how to exist miles underneath the ocean, the surface of the ocean. Or how do they do that? They come up for air. How do all these animals, every creature has its own wisdom. And we also have, not by nature, we have good holy qualities in us, which are
Mercy, modesty,
mercifulness, modesty, and
honesty.
kindness. Kindness. Jewish people are kind people. Okay. Now, page 116. Klippus Noiga, that's what it's called. Noga. Noga is an intermediate category between, it's like a mediator between the three completely bad klippas. What's a completely bad klippa? Is larva. You're not going to go eat larva. Creepy crawling insects, mosquitoes. That's icky wicky, terrible. But then you have things that are not so terrible. They don't look so terrible. They're very popular. Shellfish, lobster, crabs, shrimp. These are from impure klippa, so the Torah tells us stay away from them. Sometimes kosher things, if not handled properly, also plug into impure klippa, like cheese and meat. Make a cheeseburger. The cheese is kosher, the meat is kosher, the cheeseburger is from impure klippas. So this klippas noga, you could use the cheese, you could use the meat in a good way, or you could use it in a bad way, and then it becomes connected with klippa. So, page 116. So sometimes the life from this klippa of noga is going to be connected with the impure klippas on page 116, second dark lines. Sometimes the life on this level in the world of action derives its life from the three impure klippas. Okay, like snakes and vultures and lions and tigers are from impure klippas. We can't eat them. We stay away from them. As this is all written up in the book. The Alter Rebbe is not making this up. He's conveying this. It's all written in holy books. The name of the holy book is Eitz Chaim. Chaim was written by Rabbi Chaim Vital, the foremost student of Rabbi Isaac Yitzchak Luria, known as the Arizal. Ufamim shem nichleles v'oile b'bechinas u'medregas hakadosh. And sometimes the life from this fourth level, the meat and the cheese and the wine, can go up into holiness. And we'll have wine for Kiddush and challah and chicken soup and the delicious meal for Shabbos and Yom Tov. It's all holy. It's all good. And you can use the energy to learn Torah and to daven. And it goes up and becomes part of your spiritual inheritance, your spiritual rechush. You go out into the world and you earn a lot of money, and then it's yours. So spiritually also, the mitzvahs that you do, you take with you forever. The good deeds that you do are yours forever, for the world to come. The property you leave behind. That is to say that the life becomes absorbed, that in this world, the fourth level of klippa called noga, there is good mixed up with bad, and the good becomes extracted out, refined, and it becomes dominant, And it goes up into holiness. You get it? So that makes us like spiritual prospectors. What's a prospector? Someone goes into the mountains looking for gold, right? They look for, where is there a stream that's running over a deposit of gold, and they pan for the gold to get little flakes of gold, and then eventually it becomes a lot of gold. So we are looking for gold in this dark world. And how do we know what's gold and what's not gold? So for that we have to learn Torah. The Torah tells us what we should go for and what we should avoid. What we can elevate into the realms of holiness. Remember, there's the whole natural world to work with. What can we elevate into holiness, and how do we do it? The Torah tells us how. For instance, Kagoin, Derek Marshall, the bottom of page 116, if a person, ha'oichel bisra shmeina the Torah, a person has a nice, delicious steak, and he drinks a delicious wine, and he does it in order to have a better understanding in life and in Torah, like if he's a judge, he has to answer people's questions. And there's a story told in the Talmud of a very naughty question, naughty with a K, not with like a knot, right? You tie a knot. This question was like tied a knot. People couldn't untie the knot. It's a difficult question. And the judge couldn't answer the question. The next day he came back to the court, to the rabbinical court, and he answered the question. He said, how come you answered the question today and yesterday you couldn't? He says, because I had a delicious steak and I had some wine, and gave me a broader understanding. In other words, the sparks of holiness in the food became connected with him, and from that he got inspiration. He got the inspiration to have a deeper perception of what the truth is. So if he eats with this concept in mind, that I'm eating in order to be able to judge better and understand better what does Hashem require of us. On page 117, we have an example of this in the Talmud, that Rava, one of the great teachers of the Torah, said that wine and besamim, fragrance, make they broaden the mind of a person. Similarly, a nice home broadens a person's perspective. Or if I'm eating and enjoying the food and the wine, not on a weekday, but on Shabbos, everything you do on Shabbos is holy and elevates a person. So page 117, just to conclude for today, that when a person eats meat and drinks wine with this intention, or it's Shabbos and Yom Tov, then the inner holy life that's hidden within it, because in Klippas Noiga, the good and the bad are all intermingled. That goes back to the first sin of Adam and Chava, eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So good and evil became all mixed up. And by having a godly intention, when we drink the wine and eat the meat, then that extracts the holiness that's within them and brings it into the realms of holiness. Just like if you on Passover, we have a shank bone on the table. We don't eat it. What's a shank bone? It recalls that on Passover, people would bring a lamb, Paschal lamb, and they would eat it. We can't do that because we don't have a Beis HaMikdash. So therefore, we just have a reminder of it. But if you brought this lamb to the Beis HaMikdash, or for whatever reason you brought it, let's say you want to say, thank you, Hashem, we had a great year this year on the farm. I'm giving you one of my best animals. I really know that I owe you my whole life, and you're very kind. You're going to take this animal instead of me. And I bring the animal, And the animal is shechted, and they take the fats and they put the fats on the altar. The fats are for you, Hashem. They're the best part. And the meat I take back to my hotel for my family and my guests, and we have a delicious meal together. And the whole experience is very elevating. Like after the basic service, basic Seder, everybody feels very elevated. So that when you eat and drink with this kind of ideas, it's just like, not exactly like, but it's very similar, as if you brought an offering to the Beis Hamikdash, just like if you brought that lamb to the Beis Hamikdash, and some was for Hashem, and some was for the Kohen who helped you to bring it, and the rest was for you and your family, and everything was holy and good. So similarly, when you eat without the Beis Hamikdash, but you have this intention that you're doing it for the sake of Hashem, it elevates the sparks of life that are in the food, and then they become energy for you. Thank you very much. We'll see you in Mr. Hashem tomorrow. Thank you all for coming. Shira. Yes, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. Our class is growing every day. We started off with 2 students this year.
Pape, your phone is downstairs.
What?
Your phone is downstairs.
What's it doing?
I don't know, Mrs. Jackie told me to tell you that you left it downstairs.
I left it downstairs?
It's with your jacket.
In my jacket?
She put it on top of your jacket.
Well, that's where I'll find it. That's a safe place to leave it. Yeah, I decided not to bring it in here today because I thought if I bring it here, I might lose it. I might leave it. That could happen. If I left it there, I would certainly take it. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei nefashos rabbos v'chesron al kol ma shebarasa, l'chayis bahem, nefesh kol choy baruch, chei ha'olamim. When you eat something, girls, remember to say it after bracha before you get up and go away.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming. Come again tomorrow. Leah, thank you for joining the class. What made you think of coming here? What made you think of coming here?
Oh, I wanted to learn. Le potresti contarmi cosa non fai? Io ma con le